What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, whether you're listening to the podcast version or you're here with me live on Wider Radio. That's 89.1 FM, WIDR, Kalamazoo. I'm here with my special guest, Donovan Harrington. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
We in the Taboo Topics selection, so now we get to talk about anything we wish to for this next hour, whatever, however much time we got. I got to look at the clock.
But, what you want to talk about?
All right, man. So we talked recently about being a black student at WMU or being a black student at a predominantly white institution. So what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, you know, obviously I'm biased. I'm a black student attending Western Michigan University. That's a PWI.
Right.
My experience as a black man here on campus has been phenomenal, to say the least. You know, ultimately, I do believe in you get out what you put into it.
For sure.
You know, I do know also that, you know, PWIs, they don't look out for specific cultures because that's not what they're directed towards or anything like that. So it's like it does feel like sometimes you got to go above and beyond to get the you know, what they would say, like the same as someone else. You know, you got to work twice as hard for someone else to get it, and they just did.
That's being black.
You know what I'm saying? So now you see what we're talking about. You see where I'm going.
Honest, that's being
you
black.
feel me? So, you know, like I said, ultimately the experience here has been phenomenal. But I think with every black student, they experience it differently because the campus responds to their presence on campus differently.
I agree with that. I know there are many times where some people may feel like they don't have the resources, depending on the school. Like I know a few people, they go to like very big schools, like Big Ten universities and like huge schools like that. And they may feel like it's too big for them or they don't have enough resources. Or honestly, some people have told me they feel like it's just not enough black people.
And that could be a problem too.
I've heard that before too, where it's like, it's just not enough black people. Like, man, I don't know. I'm not used to being around a diverse area. And I've been told by some people, like, you know, it was uncomfortable for me. Like I had a tough time transitioning from where I was to where I am now. And that plays a big part. So how do you think a university could make something like that better for a black student or any minority, honestly?
I think the university has to take the initiative to reach out to those cultures to make sure that they're being inclusive and not just being equal, because that doesn't necessarily mean equity. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Over equality.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, looking at it from that perspective, the university has to take that first step in making sure that they're pleasing the students, because at the end of the day, the students is what bring the money in, and that's what the university is looking for, to keep them dollars coming in. So to have proper respect for those cultures that feel like outcasts or outsiders, they should take the initiative to at least reach out and say, you know, how can we make this a better experience for y'all? Oh
man, that is true. I feel like if they did that, if they put in a lot of effort in terms of actually trying to understand what minorities in the university need, I feel like that can make a huge difference in terms of comfortability level. Because I mean, some people may not be comfortable if they don't, especially if they don't know the different organizations that's around on campus. If they don't know what resources is there, especially if the campus is so big, it's like, well, I mean, I'm just here.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, it may feel like I'm just here, like
just trying to do what I got to do. I'm trying to pass this class. That's unfortunately how it settles into. But you know, at the end of the day, being a black student at a PWI, don't let it discourage you from being, you know, the greatest person that you can be. You know, like don't let that suppress the amount of success that you can impact on campus. You know, like you can do a lot more than what you feel you can do just off the strength of, you know, whatever major or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you get out what you put into it. So if you talk to the right people, and you know, it starts with the faculty. If you get cool with a faculty who can get you cool with another faculty member, next thing you know, you doing what you know.
Y'all better listen to him.
I'm trying to tell you, like,
free game right now, man. He putting y'all on free game.
You just gotta be aware, ultimately.
That's so true, man. And one thing, I had a conversation the other day, and we were just talking about like acceptance rates with different schools and like big schools and things like that. And I know here specifically, our acceptance rate is very high. Like I want to say, if I had to guess a number right off the top of my head, from what I remember, I want to say it's around like 81 or 83%. But it's a very high acceptance rate.
But that means what though in terms of acceptance? Like they like
just welcoming them into the university. Like you're accepted, you can attend this university.
Okay.
But the thing with the acceptance rate, one thing I thought of is they let all these students in and they let everybody in, but yet they don't think about whether the student is actually suitable to attend this university, or like if he's actually can thrive by attending this university rather than just being like, all right, come on, you accept it. Now give me some money, and then if you stay, you stay. If
Write
you don't,
check.
you don't. Bye, like, whatever. Yeah. So like, how you feel about that kind of situation? Because that, I mean, from a business aspect, of course, it's genius because it's like, well, I mean, it's on them whether
how
they
to
want to
maximize profit.
Yeah,
right.
so of course it's genius, but it's like, damn, like if you really here trying to help us and trying to help whoever is really struggling to trying to go to this school and make it through this school and actually graduate, like, damn, like that's not really a cool situation to be putting people in. So like, how do you feel about that?
Well, for starters, I was a fall welcome ambassador here at Western Michigan for 2 straight summers. And with that experience, what Western does is, on top of the acceptance rate, they allow the students to be interactive, for the first few days before classes start, to where the students can kind of get accustomed to campus. As a fall welcome ambassador, you're basically the leader of this group of freshmen who are, or I wouldn't say freshmen, first-year students, respectfully, who are not aware of what campus has to offer. And as a leader and as a fall welcome ambassador, I'm supposed to move them to that next step. Now, with that, what I'm saying with that is it's kind of a facade in a way, because it looks good, because you're meeting all these people, everything looks all great, looks good, but then once the semester start rolling, students start realizing like, well, school ain't for me, or what I seen at fall welcome week, that's not what
it ain't like that
not all the time. You know what I'm saying? So right. I think with that though, Western invested in the acceptance rate because that's what secures the bag for them. Yeah, but then when it comes to the students, I don't think they've mastered how to maximize every student's experience, which is...
but that's most important, though.
It is.
That's most important is, like, actually, like, helping somebody and actually building a genuine, like, connection with somebody and, like...
creating an empathy. Yeah.
Like, making a real impact on a person's life rather than being like, all right, come on. Come in, you accept it. All right, we got this many numbers. Let's check it off. Boom, we can alter these numbers and... oh, we got a good acceptance rates. This many students attends this university. Like, it's so crazy how you can manipulate numbers, and it's like... if you could
compare the acceptance rates to the retention rates, like that will explain a lot about what this campus really is.
And then you can even get fancy and throw the graduation rates in there as well.
Exactly.
It's people that go to these universities, not just here only, but it's people that go to universities, and it happens here as well, but they go to these universities and they go for either a year or a year and a half, maybe even not that. Like, may even just be there for a semester, and then they don't come back. And they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna come back this semester. I'm gonna come back, and then they don't maybe not have the funds. They might not have the support to do it and all of that. And then if they do make their way back, now it's like, all right, well, you back here, so just give us this money. You want to live on campus, whatever. Give us the money. It's like a big money grab, and it's wild because it's almost like it's the things they're doing is for the numbers and the money more so than the actual impact on somebody's life. Like, in terms of this person from that, like, I've had many people impact me, and of course you're gonna have people impact you in college. That's just how it is. But it's like from the university, like the university did this and it really helped me because it helped me in this way in the future, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A little bit.
For sure.
It's like, it's just crazy, man, because the numbers can really be twisted and manipulated in so many different ways that put on the facade.
It's not a. I'm trying to put the right words together. It's not a great thing, But at the end of the day, like I said, I feel the university has to take that initiative as faculty, and take it to the next level of how can we satisfy the cultures that we bring into this campus? Because regardless of who you're bringing in, at the end of the day, you want them to succeed with that degree. Because I remember my first year, I was in an algebra class. Like the first week, I was in this, table group, because that's how it was at the time. Right. Everybody was in these random groups, and there's one group, this 1 week everybody was there, and then like the second week people started falling off, and I'm like, dang, school just started for real. Like
what happened?
We only had 2 classes, and you're on the third class, people dropping out and everything. And I remember one of the girls that was in my group, I'm like, what happened to our other man? She was like, school wasn't for him, so he dropped out. And I'm like, he didn't even have time to think about it. Like, he didn't even give it a semester to say, okay, it's just a rough start kind of thing. He just completely X'd off the face of the campus. And it was like...
still probably had to drop the bag.
You feel me? And Western still had to come up with that cheese. Like, well, you still owe us kind of thing.
Exactly.
So
and it's messed up. And like, they'll hold it because I know a few people who didn't return to school and like had to come back and things, situations like that. But they'll hold if you don't give them their money, it's gonna stop you from being able to do a lot of things.
They're gonna be at your front door with it.
Like you about to graduate.
Facts.
I'm sure you've been at the point you like, let me make sure I got these little book fines. Let me make sure I got these little petty little fines. They'll be quick to
send the email.
Yeah, and it's like, y'all ain't gonna give me my diploma over $6. Like, come on, why is y'all acting like that? Man. So it's like, it's crazy how that works, but it's crazy how that works. But it can
be
really
surprised what they would do to you.
Yeah, it's so true, man. So in terms of college athletes, I don't know if you've seen it recently, but California, they just released a law where athletes is gonna get paid, which is great.
Yeah.
Only in California though.
Right.
But a lot of the top college top tier athletes and things like that, I've heard the conversation where the black top tier athletes should go to a HBCU because that way it'll put profit back into the HBCU because a lot of HBCUs struggle with financial situations and things like that. Mm-hmm. So like, where's your whereabouts about that? How you feel about that? I mean, I'll just go ahead and let you talk.
As a black tier student athlete, I think as an athlete, you ultimately want to think, what do you want to get out of your athletic experience? You know what I mean? So going to a HBCU, that's a great experience if you're obviously black, because that's who it's really catered to. You know, not necessarily excluding anyone, but that's who it's for. Just off the strength that PWI has had their forefront for so long, you know. So I think as an athlete, you know, like I said, you got to really think about what type of experience you want. With HBCUs, they don't have the true financial support, and I think, you know, that can definitely make or break a decision. Because at the end of the day, if you want to go to Howard to showcase your talent, or you want to go to Alabama and they offering a scholarship, whereas for Howard they probably offering you a partial scholarship. The experience there probably not going to be phenomenal, or you know, you still got to go through the hoops and hurdles of the politics of only being a black student at a HBCU. You know what I mean? Like I said, it comes with its problems and everything, but at the end of the day, it really just depends on what that student wants when it comes to them playing for the university as a student athlete.
That's a really good perspective on that, in terms of the scholarships, because the way I've looked at it, the way I've always looked at it was like in terms of publicity. Mm-hmm. But you know, most people go to and play a sport in college wants to go to the league.
Right.
Like not everybody, but most people do. When they go play football in college, they want to go to the NFL. When they go play basketball in college, most people want to go play in the NBA.
Right.
A lot of kids is one and done, and it starts up from such a young age in terms of, especially when you're a top athlete. Like if you're on the top ESPN rankings of top 100 basketball players in the league or in high school, it starts up from so long ago. Like people start paying attention to you while you're in high school. Mm-hmm. So they're not gonna really lose track of your name, but as long as you ball out, you gonna still. I feel like personally, you can still get to your ultimate goal, which is going to the league. Mm-hmm. Like as long as you ball out, because they're not gonna just forget your name. Like we know people, like for an example, LaMelo Ball. He went to high school, played in high school for like 1 or 2 years, and then went overseas, and he wasn't playing high school ball no more. Didn't go to college, was just balling out wherever, but he was still hooping, and people still paying attention to him because they like, okay, no, we ain't forget about him. No, he was sweet in high school. What has he been doing lately? Oh, he been balling overseas. Oh, he been balling in the JBA league. Oh, he been hooping. Mm-hmm. Like he been hooping. So okay, all right, we gotta work him out in the NBA. We gotta see what he gonna bring to the team. Mm-hmm. And now they talking about him being possibly a number 1 draft pick. I think he will be number 1 draft pick, but that's a different story.
The talent shows.
I just feel like it. Yeah, exactly. Talent shows. You know, if you can ball, you can ball. If you can hoop, you can hoop.
Facts.
And so I feel like when you're a top tier athlete, yeah, you have that ability to choose. And I'm not telling anybody to go do this or go to a HBCU and things like that, because you got to choose from your own heart. Do what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. but you brought up a good perspective though for a student athlete. You know, if you go to a HBCU, you have the capability of balling out more depending on how good of an athlete you are. Whereas
you might stand out more too.
Exactly. Whereas a PWI, you know, if you go to Alabama, you probably got to ride the bench for a good 3 years before you can start. You know what I'm saying?
With football, man, you ain't touching the field till your last year in football.
And it be like, I remember one year was with Calvin Ridley. I'm not sure if he was a freshman, but they had some freshmen on there who were starting, and it's like, out of how many receivers is on that sideline, you a freshman starting, like that stands out.
Yeah, it is. And Nick Saban don't play that, so he'll get somebody going real quick.
He got a freshman over senior.
He'll get somebody. He don't take none of that. So he like, look, oh, you a senior, you ain't performing. Where that sophomore at? At? Bring him up here. Go run this route. And I mean, hey, that's how it is. That's crazy. So this is kind of a funny topic. I mean,
Let's talk about it.
This is kind of a funny topic.
Let's talk about it.
Little question. You think college is a scam? So my people listening, whether you're in college, whether you went to college, whether you didn't go to college, I'm in college. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I think it's a damn scam.
It's a scam for sure. I've been here since fall 14. It is a scam for sure.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. The benefits can be good, but like you said, you only get what you put in, or you only get out of it what you put in. But man,
it's a scam.
It's
for
a
sure.
Damn scam.
It's a financial scam, and it goes back to those numbers we was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like that's what they look for.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ain't got it, financially not trying to give it,
they're like, oh, okay, you know what? But we don't even want you here, no.
But you still owe us this band, though.
Right,
you still got to pay this
you
band.
You gotta pay this from that, man. So yeah, that's how it works. And recently, bro, this is how I know college is a scam. As soon as I got here, I knew college was a scam because I'm like,
talk to me.
These books, and I'm like, I don't bought books. I ain't even used the damn books. So I'm like, I know it's a scam for sure.
You got them syringe wraps you ain't used.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why did I have to buy this if we ain't gonna use it?
One
like,
page,
come on, man.
one chapter.
And so recently, this same thing has happened to me. Where I just feel so personal about it because I'm like, it don't make no damn sense. I'm taking a class. It's a science class, and it's one. You got to pay for general ed courses when you can take it for a way cheaper price at a community college. So think about that. Free game. So if you think about going to school, whatever, look at some communities, take them gen eds first, and you never know how that might work. It's up to you, whatever. That's just the option. But anyway, this is a gen ed course I'm taking. It's a science class. And this science class requires me to pay for the textbook first. So I'm like, okay, I need a textbook. It's online. I'm like, I need the textbook. I might have to read something, whatever. I get the textbook, whatever. Textbook, $100 and something. I'm like, dang.
Arm and a leg.
I'm like, oh, it hit me. I'm like, oh, it hit me. I got other books I got to pay for class and everything. So I'm like, man, got to pay for this. All right, I'm done with this class. And then the tech, for that same class where I bought the textbook, it's the science class. They talking about in the syllabus, I gotta pay for a course material classroom pack of rocks, and I'm like, a pack of rocks, and I'm like, okay, what the hell I need some rocks for, man? Like, come on, there's rocks outside, there's rocks everywhere. I can find a rock anywhere, bro. You can damn near find a rock inside of a building sometimes. So I'm like, man, all right, let me see how much these stupid rocks cost. They trying to have me run out of $50 for the rocks.
How many rocks you getting?
I don't know, but it don't matter. It's some damn rocks.
I'm just saying, man, they gotta be worth the 50.
Man, I'm like, it's just some damn rocks. I'm like, I don't know who they think I am or what kind of food they taking me for, but I'd be damned if I spend $50 on some rocks, right?
Like, that's the ultimate scam right there.
That ain't
that's
me.
That's the ultimate scam
I'm like, I don't know who y'all think I am. I don't know how much money y'all think I got. What kind of job I'm working? No, it's not happening. I'm like, I ain't spending $50 on the rocks. It ain't happening at all.
It really determine on how heavy them rocks is and how much, how many you getting.
If I ain't buying a rock from a monument, I ain't spending no damn money on no rocks.
That on that. That's
if I ain't
that
buying a rock that's art, if I can't put this art in my house and it be worth more than what I paid for it later for that damn rock, I don't want it. Keep that damn rock. Because I can go outside and scoop up some rocks and I'll be just fine. So I don't want it. But yeah, that's a scam.
Yeah, college is a scam, man. It's ultimately the universities want their money, and it's how they get it. And just thinking about it here while you was talking about what you was talking about, it's ultimately a state of mind. Like if you really think about it, like when you graduate, don't nothing change in terms of time or months or anything like that. It's just more so what you do with your time and everything. So, like you said, you go to community college and you can get similar experience as a university. You know what I mean? It really just depends on what you get, what you put into it and what you expect in return.
Right.
So as long as you have a good return on investment and you invest well, you'll be straight.
Yeah, and it all depends on the person as well, how much you really want it. How much you really want to get to it and how much you really want to benefit from what you paid a university.
Exactly.
Because some people may go to a community because it's cheaper and then transfer. That's also a good way. They may go to the community, then transfer, be at the university, and be like, man, I ain't really feeling it. Or it could be vice versa and be like, I'm feeling it. I'm glad I did it this route, whatever. It saved a lot of money. And then boom, 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 still build connections, all of that other stuff. But really, it gets confusing because a lot of people really think that you need college to be successful.
You don't need college to be successful. There's
all.
people out there that ain't got a degree and is rich.
College. Exactly.
Was it Bill Gates, Steve Jobs dropped out? You know what I'm saying? We got a whole list of people who didn't go to college.
Everything, and because you don't need college, but that's also confused because even when you're in college, it kind of robs you of knowledge in a way, in a sense. It kind of, and this is what I mean by that as I explain it, is that when you're in college, I was actually talking to my homeboy about this the other day. When you're in college, all you hear, well, at least on my perspective, what I can speak of, I don't know about everybody else, but what I hear a lot is, oh yeah, when you do this and you graduate, you get this job. When you do this, you graduate, you get this job. When you do that, you can do this. Oh, you can work here, you can work here, you can work there. If you join this club, it'll look good on your resume, and then you can work there and stuff like that. But I don't ever hear somebody say, oh, you can create this job. Oh yeah, when you get out of here, you learn this, you learn that, and now you can go create this job. You can go create that job. You can get somebody to work under you. You can get this. You start building your own team. I don't never hear no feedback like that. It's rare. I might have heard it from one professor. He doesn't go here anymore. He ended up transferring. He went to go get his master or something. He went to reach for higher education.
There you go.
He went to reach for higher education. But like we was having that conversation too, and that was a while ago, man. But it was like cool because I'm like, man, that's so true. Like that's true. Out of my experience here, every time I'm in class and somebody talking about what's next after college, I hear, you gotta hopefully you work here, work corporate, work this, work that, and it's like, damn, well, what if I don't want to work for somebody? Like, damn, what?
College teaches you to be a worker. Exactly. It doesn't teach you to be a leader. Doesn't teach you to be an owner and have ownership with your stuff. And that's why I said it comes back down to you get out what you put into it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and like, go
ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and like, it's okay. It's okay to work somewhere right after college and take that experience to learn and reinvest it back into yourself. But they don't teach you to that part of reinvesting it back into yourself. They don't explain that part.
They don't program that into your head. They program like you got to do all this extra hard work to get the bare minimum in return, and it may not even be nothing because
work for somebody else.
You know what I'm saying?
And deal with what they want you to do and deal with.
And as a business student, I can tell you that's a bunch of horse baloney. That's lame.
We know the word. We know the real word for that.
It's lame. As a business student, you're taught that you can own anything that you want, like, just bring it into a segue in a way. Everything in this life is attainable. There's nothing that's not attainable in this life. So it's like, if you want to own that shop or you want to own whatever, you can do it. All you need is the right opportunity and be in the right circumstance to do so.
Right.
And that's all you need is resources. And then that comes back to, we had a PWI, who can we talk to? Well, that goes down to, okay, well, who look like us, who can actually give me the answer that I need versus the answer that sound good and that may, put a little pamper on the Band-Aid, like, oh yeah, well, you can do this, but at the end of the day, like, no, you can't do that. Versus someone who's telling you,
it's difficult to do that.
Exactly. Versus someone who's like, you know what, it may be hard, but you know what, you can do it. That's something that you can do. And
it's even better too when you do come across somebody that's like, who's a good mentor, and you like, oh, well, I done did this, so I know you can do it.
Like that positive affirmation right there.
That changes the scene completely, and that changes the storyline completely, because it's like, well, I done did it, so I know you can do it. I mean, I know people who done did it. I connect you, and like that's different ways of building connections. But at the same time, it's like, man, those resources are limited, especially when you're a black student at a PWI.
Exactly.
So it goes hand in hand.
It's bittersweet, real bittersweet.
Definitely bittersweet.